Okay over there? Okay. You look a little unsettled. Morning.
Same quiet group this morning.
Well, because we're waiting for you. Everybody's getting worried about you.
I'd like to make a grand entrance.
Yeah, everybody's getting worried. I almost called you.
Sorry.
We were afraid you'd been abducted or something.
Afraid or hopeful?
Afraid. Okay, we're at the point of time. And we have all 4 committee members, I believe. So welcome to the March meeting, everyone. Let's begin by considering the minutes. You got them in the preliminary package, so any comments, any corrections?
I'd make a motion to approve.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. All right, any discussion? All right, hearing none. All in favor, aye, please.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, minutes appropriately have captured the last meeting, I guess, then. All right, so John, are you taking us through item 2?
So we've got a second read this month of the proposed amendments to the Faculty of the Year Awards. Current policy, if you recall, recognizes or provides for recognition of a tenured and a tenured track faculty. The proposed amendments would add a category for a full-time non-tenured track member and also for a staff member. And the only change from what you saw last month is that we've clarified the number of staff awards would be 1 nomination for consideration as opposed to multiple. So that was something that was brought up that we might want to identify. So we did that, and that's the only change.
Okay, any comments from anyone? Okay, so, and not that it binds us in any way, but we did hear from the faculty report last month that they're anticipating us doing this, and so they're well prepared to be able to add this in, which I think is also helpful. So if there are no comments, we certainly would entertain a motion that we recommend this to the board.
Move for approval.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thanks. Any discussion? And hearing none, all in favor, indicate by saying aye, please.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. All right, that takes us to the safety and security report from Fort Hayes. Joe, you're doing that, right?
Yeah, I'll
And
kick it off.
Teresa's here
if
to
you-
be
that's okay.
supportive, or does you're gonna pitch an inventory or
I'm monitoring.
monitoring? Okay, not supportive, monitor.
Pressure's on, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, you won't actually hear much from me this morning on this. Chief Terry Pierce, who this committee's heard from over the last couple of years for this report, is here virtually, as is Lori Larrick. Lori is our new Title IX and compliance officer. She replaced Amy Schaefer, who you all had heard from several times in the past, this past summer. And so Lori's done a great job of picking up the baton there. Amy moved to a different role on campus. And so they'll kind of cover the details of the report. I did want to just maybe say briefly, you know, I think this is year 5 or 6 for me, and I've been involved in this report since I started at Fort Hayes. I feel good about our posture here. I mean, I feel like there's been a lot of work over the years, especially in the last couple of years in terms of collaboration across campus. The CPIG group, our critical incident group, has expanded. We've embedded more sort of expertise and perspective from the university into that. Those 2 individuals and the people they work with and their teams and things have collaborated with faculty, staff, student government. You'll hear some of those initiatives. I think like the IT folks and the work that they're doing across the system, the enterprise risk management stuff that you all have sort of kicked off has sort of, I guess, made that collaboration effort even more intense. And so I really do feel good about the level of collaboration and communication across campus. Luckily, and I say this always knocking on wood, we don't have a lot of security incidents. We don't have a lot of campus safety problems. Hayes is a relatively safe and secure community. Yeah, knock on wood as much as we can. But we know that it's important to keep doing this, to keep doing the prep, to keep doing the planning, the trainings, the collaboration, all that stuff. And so we're going to obviously continue to be committed to that effort. But I just wanted to kind of give that little bit of balcony perspective since I've been here a few years and feel really good about it. So I'll let Chief kick it off with the details of the report if you can, Terry.
Okay, thank you. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. As far as adequate security measures and weapons restrictions, Fort Hays still has no restricted areas as we have. So there's been no changes to the weapons policy at all. When it comes down to the most recent crime statistics for the Cleary report, nothing very significant to report here at Fort Hays State. No troubling trends or anything like that. No major security events to speak of. We continue to have alcohol sales at the home games for FHSU football, which has continued to be very smooth. We've had no problems with that. And we also have enhanced security at the games as far as all the police officers are working. And then there's a private company that athletics is contracted to do some of the event staffing as well. As far as the existing security systems or processes, we continue to update all the buildings with key card access. The only exception to that is the Forsyth Library, which is under major renovation right now. And it will have card access when it is the renovations completed. Residence halls and student service facilities and the maintenance facilities are coming online with the security card access as we speak. As Joe mentioned earlier, we do collaborate with the SGA on a number of items. One of them is our annual safety walk, where I and several of the other employees from campus, from student affairs and maintenance and housing, we walk late at night after it's gotten dark with the Student Government Association, looking for concerns of safety or areas that need better lighting, things like that. So we're still doing that in the fall with them, and also places where they would like to see security cameras. And we've worked with the Student Government Association, started the process of adding security cameras to the parking lots outside of our residence halls. That was an initiative that SGA wanted to see security cameras on those lots. And so we are getting those installed. We have some now and some more that'll be installed shortly. We've worked with our faculty senate and started a pilot project for new classroom door locking system in one of our major academic buildings. The faculty senate had brought some concerns forward about not being able to secure their classroom doors if they wanted to. So we have initiated a plan and supplied some devices, and it's in the testing phase now in that building. That'd be Raricol that we're working in. And our facilities personnel continue to work proactively to address issues through regular inspections, often working with state inspectors in key areas like the elevator, fire, boilers, and hazardous waste. We've also added a quality assurance, quality control position to assist with concerns specific to the residence halls. The position's been approved, and I don't believe anybody's been hired from the search just yet. As Joe mentioned, we've been doing some tabletop exercises and some other exercises and training to enhance safety and security on campus. The IT and Title IX training occurs annually. Fire evacuation exercises are held in each Res Life facility twice per semester. University Police provides active shooter and drug awareness training for all residence hall staff twice a year. And we've also started delivering a new active shooter training program and partnered with a faculty member as we do a presentation with him. I present on the active shooter part, and he presents on combat life-saving type medical techniques if need be. That's his part in the presentations. We've also continued coordination with Ellis County Emergency Response and expanded that group to local organizations regarding document and planning alignment with local entities. We expanded our critical incident group to bring a broader perspective and more subject matter expertise, updated our internal procedures accordingly, and have been focusing on updating the internal NIMS and ICS training across the group. That's the FEMA NIMS and ICS. We did a tabletop, we did a first tabletop exercise back in August with TEACS, that's the Texas A&M University Extension Service. They came to campus and delivered that program here for us and for a lot of our local agency partners. And then we followed that up with a tabletop exercise on campus protests and disruptions in January. We consulted with KU's Tamara Durham as part of that process. We're tentatively planning on one more tabletop involving the summer severe weather event before the end of the semester. And the campus is encouraging, facilitating communications between students, faculty, and administration regarding suspicious or other concerning behavior. In addition to our annual campus safety walk, myself and the chief with Hays PD periodically meet with student government and international student groups to build a rapport and address any questions or concerns that they may have. We continue to include alcohol and drug awareness programming in our freshman seminar courses, continue to engage our behavioral intervention team process where appropriate. Health and Wellness Center continues to look at ways to enhance mental health services and programming, both for on-campus and online, such as peer-to-peer application monitored by licensed counselors for the students. We've continued our collaboration with Faculty Senate in partnership with faculty member who is part of the CIPG group expansion regarding his crime analysis class to help inform active shooter incident preparedness. And lastly, how students are educated or otherwise provided information regarding fire safety and what to look for in off-campus private housing in the way of safety. We have a section on our webpage for off-campus living and general safety tips. We also provide some guidance or support to students that request assistance in communicating with their landlord or may request a legal referral. We refer students to the City of Hays for safety concerns regarding their rental housing off campus. Any questions on that report?
So what are the learnings from the tabletops?
From the tabletops, we've learned that we have to involve very much so our community partners and other public safety agencies in Ellis County, and to include our local emergency management department, Hays and Ellis County Fire Departments and EMS. Should we need their services on campus, it's become important, or it has come to light from the tabletops that we have to keep that partnership and that we all know what to expect when the other agencies arrive. And it's also good to have that face-to-face contact so that in the case of an emergency, it's not the first time that you've seen that person.
Okay. All right, that makes sense. Thank you.
Chief, I would maybe add to that with Tamara, bringing her into the campus disruption one especially. It was just, I mean, we knew this, but for her to reiterate the fact that the relationship between student affairs professionals and the student groups is so critical. And it's one thing to have security, have police presence, have community presence, but I mean, they're going to be the tip of the spear in terms of coordinating, kind of de-escalating that effort. And then just kind of from a practical standpoint, understanding that those things can last days, not just hours. And so having your staffing set up to provide some relief, where needed and that sort of thing. That was just something that I don't think we had thought as much about in terms of a longer term event like that. So I thought that was kind of an interesting takeaway from that one in particular.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks. Well, we appreciate your comments as a start. I mean, the trend of how things have gone across time is as important, perhaps more so than the individual report. So to hear your comments about build on is certainly helpful, and collaborations of expanding is a good thing also, and even including across the institution. So thank you. Other questions for?
Yeah, I have one. You had mentioned that you have active shooter training for residence life staff. Is that
Yes.
training available to other staff across campus?
Yes, the training that we provide to the housing staff it's another product of the Texas A&M University. It's called their ALERT program, ALERT with 2 R's in it, if you ever wanted to look it up. But it's a video programming that we use for the residential staff to let them know what they should do in the event of an active shooter situation. And in that same presentation, we talk about other safety as far as the housing and what their role is as a community assistant in the housing units. And in that, along with that piece, is also some drug recognition. Should they suspicion that there's been drug activity in the area, they at least know what they're looking for.
But is there active shooter training for faculty and staff across campus?
Yes, we have offered that at professional development training at least 2 or 3 times now that I can think of. We do that for professional development, and that professional development sessions are open to faculty and to staff. It's also published out there on our website, the short video that is provided. So yes, it's available to anybody should they want it.
But it's not a requirement?
No, it hasn't been made a requirement at this point.
Thank you.
Thank you. Other questions? All right, well, we appreciate the report. Most of all, we
Sure.
appreciate what you do every day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Would you mind, Lori?
Oh, I'm
Speaking to Title IX?
Thanking the chief. So
Yeah,
yes,
Okay.
I didn't think we were done.
I didn't know if we were done or not here.
Well, I wanted to make sure got a chance. I
Okay,
thank the
yep,
chief
okay.
before we transition. So
Okay,
absolutely
sorry.
love to hear from Lori.
Okay, I'll give some updates on my very fast 6 months at Fort Hays. And so I came from the HR compliance world and healthcare. And so Joe and I have really made it a priority to make sure that while I'm out training staff, I'm also getting the proper training for myself, which has include a significant amount of interaction with the other KBOR schools in a Title IX committee, in a recently developed Clery committee. And so I've really leaned a lot on some of those questions that I've had for other KBOR schools. And so the support of those groups has been very good. We are obviously continuing on Title IX in terms of policy and procedures with the 2020 guidance. We've had minimal live hearings, actually 0 live hearings. We've done a significant amount of addressing issues with students on the informal resolution level. And so that's been very successful in terms of kind of minimizing that live hearing escalation. And so we felt good about our use of informal resolution in terms of Title IX. Currently, I'm working on implementing the Stop Campus Hazing Act policy and requirements that go along with that on our campus, which is some policy updates that are due in June. And then implementing staff training, staff, students, and faculty training on hazing, how to report, what the procedures are following that. And so we're getting that up and going as well in terms of policy and procedures. Obviously, Joe and I are monitoring very closely the updates from the new administration and making sure that we're staying close on the guidance and any changes that occur with that. In terms of the training that I'm giving staff and students, I do, as mentioned in the report, give the annual Title IX harassment discrimination trainings. As part of that interaction with staff, I will be adding on that hazing portion. I've set it up for this school year that I am going to do 1 in-person and 1 Zoom a month. And I've adjusted the times and the days of the week to make sure that we're getting everyone in a time that is consistent with their schedule as well. Also done a significant amount of trainings with targeted student groups, athletics, our student government, our freshman group. I had a very lengthy 2-day training with all of our freshman seminar groups. And so really trying to make sure that we're getting the word out about the assistance that we can offer, about the protections that they have under some of these federal regulations. Also doing a lot of collaboration on campus. And so I have a weekly meeting with the prior compliance officer. And so it's been so helpful that she has been on campus to support. Obviously, Joe is right down the hall to support, but having her still on campus, and those weekly meetings have been really helpful in getting me up and going. Lots of coordination with HR in terms of staff and interactions that I have with staff. And then we've done a significant amount of interactions and coordination with our health and wellness, noticing a lot of issues that have risen to the level of our office getting involved, really have a low-lying health and wellness need. And so really working a lot with them to make sure that students and staff and faculty are getting the assistance they need for those issues as well. I also joined the SART committee, so the Sexual Assault Response Team for Ellis County. And so getting some of those community interactions and community resources has been helpful, and I've learned a lot through that. Other than that, I think that's pretty much the basis of what I needed to cover. Are there any questions for me?
Anybody? Right, okay, well, thanks for the update. Thanks for what you do.
Yeah, thank you.
That's it.
Any questions for us?
I don't think so. Thanks for the support.
Hopefully you go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
Yeah, appreciate what everybody's doing. Thank you. There happen to be anybody with a motion about an executive session?
There does happen to be somebody, sir, and that somebody is me. I move that the governance committee recess into executive session to discuss personnel matters of non-elected personnel. Subject of this executive session is CEO compensation, and the purpose is to protect the privacy of the individual board employees involved. The session should last approximately 30 minutes and shall include the following persons who are either members of the body or who will aid in this discussion. Members of the Kansas Board of Regents Governance Committee, General Counsel John Yeary, Director of Finance and Administration Becky Potabom, representatives of CBiz Benefits and Insurance Services, Inc. The open meeting of this Governance Committee shall resume at 9:51 a.m. Central Time.
It was close. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor, aye, please.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we're in executive session. Becky, your transition is to a different Zoom.
It is.
So,
Off the executive session screen.
all right.
Okay, we're adjourned.